Ready?
Ready.
All right, I'm starting down here because we're dealing with a female. So this is the urinary bladder, and this is the body of the uterus, and it forks right here. There's two forks, so this is the uterine horn. There's another one here. And if you go to the top of the uterus where this pin is, that's where the ovary is. Going up here, this is the large intestine. And if you go back into this cavity, there's the kidney way back there. This little finger-like organ sticking out to the side is the spleen. And this red pin is in a sheet of tissue that's kind of in between the spleen and the stomach, and that's the pancreas. I'll put that back in a minute. So this is the pancreas. This big pouch right here is the stomach. And so coming down to the stomach, up here is the esophagus. You can kind of make out a tube up there. The cardiac sphincter is a muscle inside there that controls making sure food doesn't go back up the esophagus. Over on the side of the stomach here is where the pyloric sphincter is. It's another muscle that controls the movement of food from the stomach to the small intestine. So this is the small intestine. It comes out of the stomach. Okay, so I think that's most of the organs back here. This is the liver. It's a big, huge liver. The sheet of muscle going across the chest is the diaphragm. It helps with breathing. So this is all the abdominal cavity back here, and the diaphragm separates the abdominal cavity from the thoracic cavity. So up here in the thoracic cavity, we got the lungs on either side of the heart, and the heart's made up of the ventricles, and on either side of the ventricles, there's an atrium. So ventricles, atrium. I have a vein pinned coming into this atrium, and that's the vena cava. It's bringing the blood from the head and the body to the heart. And this pink vessel coming out of the top of the heart is the aorta. So that's taking oxygenated blood from the heart and delivering it to the body. If we move just a little bit forward here, this tube with a bunch of rings on it is the trachea. That air comes down to the lungs. And at the top of the trachea is a little cartilage box where the vocal cords are, and that's called the larynx. Kind of behind the trachea, like underneath it, is a muscular tube called the esophagus. That's where the food goes down. I showed you earlier the esophagus comes down here into the stomach. Okay, so we have the trachea, the esophagus, the larynx, and lastly, these glands on either side of the throat are the salivary glands, so making saliva. So those are pretty much the structures you need to know here.
Oh, perfect.
You got it.